Travel can be fun, but packing sucks. Why do I need to squeeze a bunch of big things into a small suitcase only to take it out and then put it all back in again? I'm here to try and make that experience as easy as possible for you. So let's talk about my tech travel bag and everything that goes into it, from all the different tech to the bag I use to all the different pieces of luggage I use, and just some general travel advice as a whole. Let's start. One of the best ways to make sure that you pack what you need is to just not pack. So what I mean by this is for you to make a dedicated tech travel kit, a small pack of things that you only use when you're traveling, whether that be land, air, or sea. You can save a lot of time from thinking and actually packing when you have your bare necessities sorted out and just always ready to go. For each person, what this consists of is very different. So to make life a lot easier, let's look at mine. These two are two of my kits. One is my Toiletries kit that holds everything I need so that I don't look or feel like a complete mess. It has all the essentials: an electric toothbrush, toothpaste, a razor, and other stuff like that. These are just extras of the items that I use every day at home and live permanently in my suitcase, ready to go at all times. And the other is my tech emergency kit of the same kind. I'm a firm believer in these things, and I talk a lot about them in previous videos too. I could yap about these all day, but that might be another video all in itself. This is the sheer tech essentials that would cover any tech emergency, no matter where I am or what I'm doing. I just always have this bag ready to go. If you think about all the typical pieces of tech you might bring on a trip, it's going to narrow down to just your phone, wireless earbuds, maybe a tablet, maybe a computer, maybe a camera, maybe a game console. So you need an effective way to charge each of these items so that you're never out of juice. And that's kind of what I put aside for this tech emergency kit. So in this pouch, I like to carry a compact 3-in-1 wireless charger to basically just keep all of my phone, AirPods, and Apple Watches charged all through just a single cable. This means I have a portable but quick to set up charging station wherever I'm staying. But what if when you're just out there exploring the world? Well, then you probably want a portable battery bank. There's plenty of great options out there, but you probably already have one, so just use that one. But if you don't have one, or yours is super old with a battery that's more degraded than battery at this point, then when purchasing a new one, make sure it's either 100 watt hours or 27,000 milliamp hours or less, or else it might not be allowed on an airplane, or you might have to get special permission. For myself, I've been switching between two different types of battery banks, depending on if I think that I'll be more mobile or more computer dependent. For a vacation, I just lean towards a smaller MagSafe battery bank because they're way lighter. But when I'm on work trips, I think I prefer the high powered ones to ensure that my laptop can stay charged no matter where I am. Maybe it's a location with no wall outlet. You really can't go wrong with either option, so it's up to you depending on your own personal needs. Besides that, you'll want appropriate charging bricks too. See, charging bricks are just as annoying as cables, since everything you own seems to need one to charge. And if you bring one that's too weak, you'll be waiting forever to charge your item. If you're at home, it doesn't really matter how many wall outlets you use because there's probably plenty of outlets available. It's a free buffet of power. But when traveling, you might be limited to fewer options. So you can solve this by keeping a nice multi-port GAN charger in your emergency kit. GAN chargers are smaller than your typical charging brick of similar power, and many of them have multiple ports so that you can charge a bunch of things at once. For a tech emergency kit, I'd recommend something around 65 watts if you're a light user and don't intend to charge a laptop off the brick often, and 100 watts or more if you do. These can split their total wattage between their different ports so that you're able to charge a ton of different stuff at the same time, and off the same outlet too. It's just so handy to have something that could charge any device I throw at it. But because GAN chargers are so tiny, they get very hot if you're pulling the max wattage for long periods of time. Besides that, I also like to keep a pair of wired earbuds and a few USB-C cables as backup in this kit as well. This way, for whatever tech situation that I'm in, I know I'm covered. I wouldn't be too worried about cables though, because realistically, let's just say you did end up forgetting your USB Type-C cables at home, you'll be 100% guaranteed to be able to buy one on your travels too. I mean, these cables are basically everywhere now. While most devices today do use USB-C though, not all USB-C cables are made the same. So be sure that one of your cables that you bring with you supports high wattage charging for things like your laptop or tablet. These higher wattage cables are of course usually a bit more expensive than a regular lower wattage charging cable, but you'll be much better off trying to charge your USB-C laptop with these. Besides those things, I also do keep an external SSD and SD cards for extra storage just in case I need it. I don't usually unless I end up recording videos, or for some reason I took way too many photos that day, but for the most part, these are nice to have because they're just so tiny and don't really take up much room in your bag at all. Okay, when traveling internationally, you'll find yourself in a situation where you might need mobile data to stay connected to the entire world and to quickly navigate around wherever you are. And oftentimes, your domestic phone plan will either charge you a ridiculous fee to use data overseas, or they just throttle you down to the slowest speeds imaginable to give you a painful, agonizing experience. So an item on my checklist whenever I travel is to use an eSIM provider like today's sponsor, Luggage. Luggage is an app that you can download on your iPhone or Android device that enables you to download a reusable eSIM that lets you pick data plans for over 200 destinations around the world. Just make sure your phone is compatible with eSIMs and unlocked to accept different carriers. You can put *#06# into the dialer, and if you have an EID, you have eSIM support. Once you've arrived at your destination, just turn on the eSIM line from your phone and your purchase plan for that country, it's good to go. I've personally used Luggage multiple times over the last few years, including my trip to Japan. And it was so nice having fast data integrated directly into my phone, and the fact that the plan was hotspotable meant I could use my other devices with it, and that I didn't need to carry around and charge a little Wi-Fi hotspot with me at all times. I'm sure I'd be lost without a mobile data connection in a new country. So if you're traveling internationally soon and want an easy way to stay connected, download Luggage and use promo code Jimmy to get 10% off a data plan. And thanks to Luggage for sponsoring this portion of the video. All right, so at this point of the video, you probably noticed that I like to keep all of my stuff in their own little pouches. I like to compartmentalize all of my stuff because it makes it easy to remember what container holds what items instead of digging through your luggage, messing up all your folded clothes, and honestly, I take this even further than you think. I like to think of the pouches in a very nerdy but pretty easy to understand way. I view them as folders on your computer. It contains everything you think needs to be in those folders, but of course, a bunch of different folders sit on your hard drive, or in this case, the hard drive is the piece of luggage that you're using in the moment. So I really enjoy Peak Design's packing gear for this purpose. I've been using them for over 6 years at this point, I think, and they have a very large product line of packing products that make organizing your stuff pretty easy. I use practically all of their stuff regularly. I'll leave links to their stuff in the description, and they do offer bundled deals, but fair warning, they're on the pricier side of travel gear, and I can vouch for their good quality, but you can get pretty nice stuff elsewhere too. So don't think that you need to pay this much for great packing tools. But if I was on a budget, I'd honestly use plastic bags and Ziploc bags as my travel gear. Those work great for what they are. Free or very low cost. Just pick the grocery store chain you want to represent for that trip. So let's break down those hard drives real quick. There are 3 levels of luggage: the personal item, the carry-on, and the checked bag. While they all do the exact same thing, which is carry all of your crap, the way you use them during a trip are going to be drastically different from one another. So let's break that down from largest to smallest, starting with the checked bag. This is that giant, monstrous suitcase that you always have to pick up at the carousel at the airport. Generally, I reserve this type of luggage for items that I would only use every few days, so typically not tech. But this is great for things like shoes, coats, dirty laundry during your trip, souvenirs, whatever. If you don't think that you'll look at it much, it goes in here. You might ask, why though? Because these suitcases are freaking massive, and you will probably have limited space in your hotel room, your friend's apartment, the Airbnb, or wherever you're staying to open these things up to try and fill them up. Packing and unpacking already sucks, and dealing with one this large is not fun at all, and on shorter trips, I try to avoid this thing completely. So the less you touch this thing, the better. Also, you're not supposed to have things with batteries in checked bags, and I wouldn't want to either, since those bags do get tossed around during transport and might damage delicate stuff in there. Now let's go a little smaller. There's the carry-on. This is the type of luggage that you use to keep things you'd use around once a day. So for myself, I mainly use it for my daily clothes, toiletries, and whatever else I've brought with me. I personally like to use different packing cubes of different sizes and colors to organize what clothes are in what cube. This small packing cube from Peak Design fits about 3.5 pairs of my sleep outfits. These are just a pair of basketball shorts and a t-shirt. I wear size XL. You may be able to fit more clothes if you wear smaller sizes than I do, but I like keeping sleep clothes in one cube and then outside clothes in a different cube. And as I deplete them, I start using these as dirty laundry holders. This way, dirty clothes aren't touching clean ones. And with these bags, I can quickly reorganize or move clothes to my backpack or checked bag if I need to. Packing cubes are so convenient to have, and there's just so many options out there. But if you don't travel much, again, I would say use clean plastic bags and Ziploc bags. I love reusing plastic bags, and in my own kit, I still use these plastic bags for my oversized shoes. I don't usually keep much in my carry-on because it all basically goes into the last bag. In this case, a backpack. This is where I keep everything that I need to use multiple times a day. So all of my tech, including that emergency kit. So let's break it down. First, the bag itself. This is super important. I'm not saying that you should go out and buy a $500 fancy, ultra deluxe, it should probably cure every disease for the price that I'm paying kind of bag. But be very intentional of what you're carrying on your back because this impacts how you'll feel on your trip. I highly recommend that you get backpacks for your trip. It's not because I hate duffels, messenger bags, or tote bags. It's just if you're carrying a ton of tech or just stuff in general, it gets heavy, and that messenger bag or duffel is gonna feel painful to carry on that one single shoulder constantly. So that's why I highly recommend backpacks, especially ones with padded comfortable straps, so it's easier to carry for long periods of time. Oh, and also just make sure it has a luggage pass-through so you can take off your backpack, slap it on your carry-on, and roll it around with no weight on your shoulders. But what would improve your travel most is how you pack and organize your things and how easy it is to access those things once you put them there, not just the bag. So I'd focus on those items more. So when people pack a tech travel bag, I genuinely believe that they carry way too much. This is everything that I used to carry on a trip with me. Noise canceling headphones, a full frame camera, some lenses, and a handheld gaming console like a Switch. Then I would carry my laptop and tablet with me. I was basically a walking electronics store. But the truth is, most of this stuff was just completely unnecessary, super overkill, and took up so much space in my bag. These things would constantly get in the way when I was repacking and getting ready to go back home. So once I had all of this, over time I realized I really needed to trim all of this stuff down and still need to trim all of this down. So I stopped carrying my laptop with me on vacations because really, if you're enjoying a trip, you're not gonna try to do your taxes or pay your bills. And the iPad is still around just in case you need to handle your business for personal entertainment usage on the plane or to catch up on shows in your hotel room at night. And if you desperately need a computer for something, you can just use remote desktop apps on your iPad to get into your computer and quickly do what you need, as long as you have a decent internet connection at home and where you're staying. I personally like Jump Desktop because it works pretty well, even on weaker mobile connections. Just make sure your computer at home is plugged into power and Ethernet with Wake on LAN turned on, and you're good to go. Okay, so a Switch or gaming handheld might seem useful during travel. I mean, if you're bored, play some games. But realistically, when you arrive at your destination, how often are you actually planning to play games? If you're on a vacation, probably not much, since you'll be out enjoying wherever you are. If you're visiting family, maybe to avoid those uncomfortable conversations. I feel like this one is up for you to decide, but usually I find that if I have some spare time, this isn't what I would decide to do. Instead, I would just watch or read something on my iPad, which kind of makes the Switch or another gaming handheld kind of unnecessary unless I'm currently hooked into a game. And again, just like with the laptop, if you leave your games at home, you really could just use the PlayStation Remote Play app, Steam Link, or Moonlight to remote into your games. Okay, sure, it's not at the same quality, but it's there and it's less junk weighing down on your back. So not having the games on you isn't the end of the world. Okay, so cameras. I thought I wanted to use the best mirrorless cameras that I owned constantly, no matter what. And then I realized this just turned the vacation into a YouTube work trip. I was adjusting settings constantly instead of actually living in the moment and enjoying my time and capturing the important moments with my camera. I was carrying heavy equipment that sure gave me better shots than my phone, but a huge cost to my enjoyment. So I downsized my camera and then I downsized again. But now I think I finally found a good solution for all of this. And it turns out it was just the Fujifilm X100VI. This is a very hyped up camera, but it serves a purpose for me that my other two cameras don't. It's not a camera that I use for YouTube. It's a small, dead simple to use camera that also has a few more advanced features if I'm feeling a bit fancy. I can't describe this feeling, but having a camera that's dedicated to my personal life and was easy to use has really changed how I shoot photos on trips. And it's just so quick and easy to pull out and looks better than what comes out of my phone. I don't think I could go back to carrying bigger cameras for personal trips anymore because this is good enough. Okay, so noise canceling headphones. I absolutely love them. And every flight that I get on, I see so many people with them on. And they are, in my opinion, one of the best ways to improve your flying experience. The constant cabin noise while you're in flight sucks. But over time, I start switching to using noise canceling earbuds instead. These don't cancel out as much noise, but they're smaller, they're portable, and I would have brought them with me regardless regardless if I had my noise canceling headphones or not, because I'm not planning to walk around with headphones on all the time on my trip. So leaving these at home and just bringing the AirPods Pro 2 has been my strategy. And every time I try to bring full-blown headphones on a trip again, I genuinely don't use them as much as I thought I would, and they just end up taking up space that could have been used for things I was taking home from my trip. Now, would it have been nice to have that extra 20% or so of noise cancel? Yeah, 100%. But is it completely necessary? No, and I'm fine with just these. Then I had a big tech bag for my tech emergency kit. That's right, I had to abandon a tech emergency kit. See, the problem with packing tools, including the ones from Peak Design, is that the packing tool itself can be too big. And while this one was nice, it took up extra space that it didn't need to, and a smaller tech pouch served me just fine. So that's why I downsized my tech pouch, because all of my stuff just fit better in a smaller, slimmer pouch. So yeah, with all of this, I've really cleaned up my tech bag into something that's much simpler, lighter, and gives me more space back in my bags. And truthfully, I think that's how it should be. Figuring out what your actual goal is with your tech on a trip, instead of bringing all your tech at once because you think you might want it, instead of knowing if you need it with you. And really, doing all of this just means that your luggage is now lighter when you arrive. I mean, look at this. This setup is much smaller than what we had on the table earlier. And this gives you enough room for all the random stuff that you probably will accumulate during your trip. All right, so in every piece of luggage that you carry, between your personal item, your carry-on, your checked bag, and even sling bags, it would give you great peace of mind to, well, just place a Bluetooth tracker into it. The options for this feature grows every year, so find whatever Bluetooth tracker fits your usage best. But for me, I've been loving AirTags, and they've been great. I've been permanently sticking an AirTag into literally anything and everything that I own. I like having something to confirm and validate my feelings that my stuff is safe by letting me know that it's been loaded onto the plane with me, or that I didn't accidentally leave all my stuff somewhere. And if I do lose it, I at least have some form or way to execute and try to find it. Okay, so before I close out this video, I want to focus on some random general travel tips, because let's be real here. The reason people look up tech travel bag videos is to find things that might make traveling easier for them. But not everything that would make your trip easier is all tech. So these tips are just helpful and might save you from all the little mistakes that I've made or seen myself. So here goes. Whatever you do, don't overpack shoes. They take up way too much space in luggage, and chances are you'll just wear a comfortable pair and have a second pair at most, either as a backup or as a pair you use for whatever activity you're participating in. This might be a me problem though, because I have size 14 feet, but even if you got smaller feet, you can't deny the fact that you could just fit an entire set of clothes in the space that a pair of sneakers takes up. Okay, if you have to take a laptop with you, like you're traveling for work, you know that your options for tables and desks might be limited at the airport, train station, whatever, wherever you are. If you desperately need to work, I find that using the top of a hard shell carry-on with the handle down makes an okay makeshift desk. Is it ideal? No, but hey, it works in a pinch, and in my own experience is much more comfortable than having it on your lap in a random airport seat. Going through security sucks, especially when they make you empty out all your pockets and shove all your items into those bins. I always freak out thinking that I might lose something, and if you're a fellow walking tech hoarder, you might too. So something that I ended up doing often is wearing a light jacket with zippered pockets. I leave everything that would normally be in my pants pockets, in my jacket pockets, zipped up. That way, when security calls for me to put everything in the bin, I just take off my jacket and drop it off in the bin, and I'm good to go. Light jackets in general are just great to have in your backpack on trips, because you just never know how the temperature will behave that day, and so if you get cold, you can just quickly slap it on. You now have more pockets to store stuff during your trip. So when I'm traveling, I like to minimize the amount of cards that I'm bringing with me, because honestly, who's got time to manage like 10 different cards? And losing your wallet would lead you to freezing a ton of cards. I would just add all the cards that you think you might need to your phone's wallet app, so you can just tap to pay and carry just the essential cards, like your ID, a single debit card, and a credit card that doesn't charge foreign transaction fees. If you do all of that, you now have versatile payment options and still have access to any cards you plan to use on your mobile wallet, and physical cards where digital isn't accepted. Also, if you're taking public transit, check to see if they have a digital wallet version. We used a digital Suica card in Japan, and it was so nice just being able to tap and go on our way instead of wasting time whipping out a card that we could potentially lose. And if that digital transit card is for a place that you plan to visit again, you now will have a digital card saved to your phone for the very next time that you decide to visit that place. Just make sure that you reload these things with a card that doesn't charge foreign transaction fees. They'd stack up real quick. Okay, lastly, final tip, and this is from personal experience. Make use of free Wi-Fi on planes. Oftentimes, planes will have some very nice amenities while you're on there, like giving you free movies to watch or the ability to have free messaging. So with free messaging, you get just enough data to respond to chats, messages, and text messages while you're in the air. I try to make it a habit to turn it on because something important may be happening at home. Like one time, we had planned to have a family member dog sit our dog, and we forgot to provide a key to the house. So luckily, we got messages while we were on the plane from our family members and were able to unlock the smart lock to our home remotely. So I guess that one is last tip part 2. If you have a smart lock or Wi-Fi garage door openers or even Wi-Fi cameras, make sure that they're fully charged, connected, and working before you leave on your trip, because you never know what you might need to check in on at home or need access to, or your family needs access to. Okay, so that's what's in my tech travel bag and all the things that I do to make my own travels easier. I'm sure this will change, and I'll be making another video in a year or so talking about how wrong I was in this video like I've done the last 2 years. But that's the thing, right? This is all trial and error, and the way that we travel will change over time and as tech changes. But this is what I've been doing now, and it's been working great for me. I just hope that some of these pieces of advice do help you out in the long term too. But what do you personally think? Were these tips helpful? What helped you out the most? Did I yap too much? Do you have your own travel tech tips? I'm always looking to hear other people's, maybe it'll improve my own. So if you have any of those, leave them down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time after my travels. Bye.